and gentlemen, let's go.
Travel, life, and fun.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's go.
You're listening to the Life Adventurous Podcast, presented by Say What Radio.
The Life Adventurous Podcast is for fun-loving people who want to find, create, and live with adventure as a norm in their lives. Not just that type of adventure that makes you shit your pants, but the type of adventure that lights up your soul and helps you to feel even more alive. I'm Jenny Holla, your podcast host, and welcome to your life adventure. What up, everyone? So I have a little surprise for you today. We got a really good topic, but I'm going to unveil this pretty dope surprise, and it's the fact that we have a super special guest on the show, no one other than my amazing husband, Jay Holla.
Holla.
Also, my business partner in the 2J Holla business that we have and all the other brands that fall under the 2J Holla business. We also have a podcast together called the Hollastic Life Show that's on all podcast networks. So if you want to hear and you really enjoy our chat today, you can listen and tune in on the Hollastic Life, and you can hear more of J&J shenanigans and not just Jenny shenanigans. So welcome, Jay, to the Life Adventurous Podcast.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
How does it feel?
It feels great.
So I'm going to totally put you on the spot, which I'm really good at doing this.
Yeah.
I'm really good at doing this. I didn't even tell him I was going to ask him this. So, just bear with him because, on other podcasts, you usually know the questions they're going to ask ahead of time. So what does being a life adventurist mean to you?
I don't know. Someone who looks at life as an adventure or looks for the adventure in life.
So in your life, how are you a life adventurist?
I'm not.
Yeah, you are. I think everybody is. It's not just about adventure.
We
talked about this at lunch.
I just like living,
Yeah.
Just kind of wake up and try to make today better than yesterday was.
But I think it also taps into a little bit about what we were talking about at lunch and that fulfillment. Because, guys, I haven't really talked about this yet on the podcast, or maybe I have, depending on where this episode falls, is the life adventurist isn't just about adventure and having more of that adventure and fun. I mean, granted, I love climbing the mountains and doing all of that, but it's not just about that. It's really how can you find more purpose and fun and fulfillment and adventure and however you define it in your life. And so I don't accept anyone's answer that they're not a life adventurist because it's always in there. It's just a matter of how much of it are you tapping into.
Okay, we'll go with that.
Yeah, how'd you guys like that? You did good with the on the spot. So if you're wondering all the extra noise, we're actually outside our favorite pizza spot here in Florida. It's a beautiful day. It's, mid-70s, 80s.
St. Pete, Florida.
St. Pete, Florida.
Florida's a pretty big state.
It is pretty big. We're in St. Pete, and we decided to go ahead and, be out and about for the podcast. So the extra noises is the busyness of 4th Street right here. You're going to hear all kinds of amazing things. Probably have some people walk by. But what I want to get into today is just this idea of life always being busy. There's always, always, always more to do, more to take care of. There's always something going on, right? And so whether you have a job or you're a parent or you have your own business, it can be easy, I think, especially being A-type, it can be easy to be like, oh my God, I got to hustle. I got so much to do. I got to get all this in. But one thing that has always made me cringe, and I'm going to probably unpack why, is the whole, I'm going to hustle because I'm going to hustle now so when I retire, I can have fun. Or I want to hustle now so that I can retire early. And I get that. And I think that that is a very fun goal to shoot for. Why not? Anytime you can have more fun, I'm in. But if you think about some of the psychology behind that, I'm going to hustle now so I can retire early. What's early? 45, 50, 55, 35, whatever the age is that you're trying to retire at.
Especially since people are living longer now.
You're going to hustle, so you're sacrificing now in hopes that you get to the future and you get all this time, but will you actually make it?
Right.
Will you be alive? I mean, that's the depth of it. That's the hard part of it. What about like your health and your family and your relationships and your own spiritual growth and your hobbies and what makes you you? What do you think about this, Jay? You're being awfully quiet over there. It's not normal for our Hollastic Life Show.
Oh, it's very normal for a Hollastic Life Show. What are you talking about? I was just letting you go until, you finished the statement.
So what do you think?
I mean...
He ponged it back to me and I pinged it back to him. He was trying to pong it over here.
I think that, we live in a society where success is built on an image. You're not successful until you haven't made it until. And people strive for these things. May they be like materialistic things or like whatever. It honestly kind of sucks that people feel that they have to wait till they're retired before they can actually live. Because, tomorrow isn't promised. Like, tomorrow definitely isn't promised. So doing something, looking forward till tomorrow when tomorrow may never come is strange to me.
I mean, I believe, and I've always believed, and I'm living proof that it is possible to still have fun now and still have a goal of wanting to retire earlier. I mean, I'm not old enough to retire, but of course, everybody wants to retire earlier to a certain extent because you're like, woohoo, I'm going to go travel the world. But would you really? Like, will you be bored? What are you going to do?
What is early? Because I retired at 28.
Talk about your perspective, because your perspective always kind of stops me in my tracks. Because when I think retire, I think, okay, you're not going to work anymore, but you've got a different perspective. Share that.
Retirement is, I don't know, I guess you're working for somebody. You're not really working for yourself. Or, like growing up, retirement was you worked till you were 50 and then you got to go watch if you were lucky, because that was the determined retirement age, because people weren't living as long as they are now. And I know people who've worked till they said, oh, I'm going to work until I'm retired and then I'm going to do what I want. And then they retire, and then for a year, they find another job because they're bored. So it's like retirement for me is basically, I say I was retired at 28, but it was a forced retirement. But in my eye, it was retirement nonetheless. And it's like I had the chance and the ability and whatever to do whatever I wanted at a young age, to kind of experience, to create my own path and not worry about the responsibilities of trying to climb a corporate ladder of making X amount of dollars. Like, I had that potential to do whatever I wanted then. And luckily, I was a part of many network marketing ventures where basically the fundamentals were the same. They teach you that the money is out there. Like, whatever you want, it's possible. It's out there. You just have to make up your mind to go and get it. So like, a lot of people may call these organizations or whatever, like pyramid schemes or like whatever. And why would you go do something like that when a job is secure? A job is a safety net. But is it really? Like, you could wake up one morning and someone could tell you you're being laid off. So where's the security in that? Now you have to go out and find another job and, find another security net. And depending on how old you are, you're not going to get what you're worth, because they're going to find somebody who's younger that they can pay for a whole lot less. So then your options are very limited. So I don't feel retirement is an age. That's another one of those things that we attach to. I'm going to retire. Like, I'm going to stop doing. And in the grand scheme of things, do you really want to stop? Like, there's so much life out there. There's so many things you can do, like traveling the world. You can find a job traveling the world, teaching a different language, or I don't know, whatever jobs you have. But I think the thing is that we have something tied into keeping up with the Joneses or the Franklins or the Simpsons or whoever. We have that look of what success looks like. I bought a house before I was 30. I have this fancy car. I have this. I've made 6 figures. So I'm successful. But are you happy? So yeah, that was kind of like all around the mulberry bush. But yeah.
Well, and I mean, I think that what I'm picking up from what you're saying is you're saying retiring from a job where you're working for someone. And I'm thinking retiring from work and the potential pressures from work. But either way, bottom line, and this is something I've always believed in, is that we have a clear slate and the ability to do whatever we want and create a life that we want. So even with some of the things you were talking about, even though you work for yourself and you're still working, if you're hating it or it's too much, like, you have the ability to pump the brakes. You have the ability to back off. You have the ability to, we keep talking about like, oh my gosh, we're creating our business and we're having business meetings at pizza places and we're going around town and we're hanging out. And oh my God, we had a lunch break at a taco shop. Like, we are literally living life by design, and we'll continue to design it and continue to design it until it is even more amazing than it already is. And the other thing I want to talk about this is how fast time can go by. And time is relative. It's all a matter of how you look at it. But here's the thing. You're working, you're hustling. You're trying to check off everything on your list. The list never ends. You may get the project done.
More things get added to the list.
You may accomplish the goal, but the list never ends if you were in that mindset. It's ongoing and it just doesn't stop. And then what happens is days go by, weeks go by, days fly by. Like, you're completely consumed and in your bubble. And it starts affecting other things in your life. Then you realize like, oh my gosh, I haven't even hung out with my spouse. Like, we just had that conversation today. We're in launch mode. So we're working real hard and heavy right now. And we met for lunch, and normally we work when we come out here to this pizza joint. Normally we work. But we were like, you know what? No, we've been going hard. I stayed up till 4 a.m. last night.
Well, too, I think it was the pressure too. Not even the pressure, but the thing you worked on till 4 this morning and still trying to figure that out. And then right before we left, we had a hour and a half conversation with our developer, which was going back and forth because I think you were trying to still make your point in that conversation, and she was trying to make her point, which was kind of like CTFO, worry about the simple stuff, and you're like, but no, it's not working because I did this. And it's all that before we left, and it's you know what, let's just go have lunch.
And it was nice. And we even talked about how important it is for us and how much we want to get back to connecting. Because think about it, we have a business together. We spend, especially now that I'm not traveling with my corporate job, I'm home all the time. We spend all day together. We work in the business together and everything is great, but we haven't really just connected with each other. How are you? How are your friends? What's going on? That type of stuff. And it was really nice to be able to do that. And when you're completely consumed and working on a goal, the other things where it creeps in. So I talked about relationships. This happened too to me when it comes to working out and stuff. I'm like, oh my God, I got to get this done. I'm working hard. I want to sacrifice. I want to wear this badge of honor because, oh my God, look at me. I sacrifice. This is what I'm doing. I got to work. I'm better than you. Okay. All these stinking thinking ego crap that gets in there. And it's just not worth it because I realize man, what's more important to me is my health and my wellness and my mindset. And I can tell, and this is the thing, when you start putting the brakes on a little bit and chilling out, you can feel a difference when you are connected, in flow, feeling really good. Right now, I feel really relaxed. I'm excited that we're doing this. We got a lot of work to do, and what we're doing right now doesn't feel like work. This actually feels really fun.
It's work, but it's not. And I think that's the important thing too. Figuring out the thing that works for you. And I said this, most people are like, well, I don't know what day it is because they've been going and going and going and going. I don't know what day it is. For me, it's different. It's because yesterday felt like a Saturday and it was a Friday. And one of my friends called and I forgot she was at work because she called at 1. And I'm like, oh, snap. It is Friday. And we recorded 8 videos yesterday. And I'm like, yo, this is crazy because other people are clocking into a job and we're sitting in our makeshift studio recording stuff for the people. And this is our life. This is freaking amazing.
So with all this chat, all this back and forth, I hope this has given you some things to think about in your own life, some things to reflect on. And if you are catching yourself or when you're catching yourself going really hard or, hey, I'll do it later, or not really just being present and connecting in, just think about this and re-listen to it or whatever you need to snap you out of it, because life, in my opinion, and everything I believe, is meant to be fun. and knowing that it's always going to be busy, because that's just how it is with social media and your phone and your computer. And we're just a fast moving society right now with everything going on, right? All the different distractions and all the different input. And I mean, marketing, what was it? Like, it used to be able to have someone's attention for 15 or 30 seconds before they bounced.
Right. What is it, like 5 or 7?
It's like 5 to 7 seconds.
That's crazy.
And you used to be able to hit them 5 times before
crazy.
they bought. Now you got to hit them like 7 to 13 or whatever.
I thought it was like 16 to 20.
It probably is.
That's crazy.
Right? Because there's so much going on. So regardless, remember to tap into that life adventurous side of you. Find out how you can really tap into the fulfillment and how you can find more fun and adventure and freedom. And I actually have a resource for you. And to be completely honest, at this exact moment of this taping, I don't have like a landing page set up, but I have something called From Burnout to Bliss, Mini Life Survival Guide. This guide is free and I want to gift it to you. And if you're listening and you're like, oh my God, I want that, then shoot me an email. Holla, Holla, at 2jholla.com. Number 2jholla.com. Shoot me an email and put in the subject From Burnout to Bliss, and I'll make sure I get that over to you. Or if we've got a flow set up for it, I'll send you the link for the flow, and eventually we'll get the link in the show notes. So depending on when you listen to this, how far after, hey, check the show notes. Check there first. Maybe it's already there for you. But this will be something fun to help you tap into more of that like fun and freedom for your life. All right. We'll catch you next time.
Holla.
Holla.